I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of hearing and reading about what happened at the Oscars. But ironically, I'm adding to the noise by making this very video. This video does take a different standpoint I haven't seen yet. The standpoint in this video is no one understands Will. It's really easy to point fingers, to cancel someone, to blame someone for an action. It's a lot harder to understand what led them to that point. I'm not the type of person to say evil doesn't exist, people are just misunderstood. Evil definitely exists, but some people are good people that reach breaking points that cause them to act out of character. As one of the most recognizable, loved and bankable stars, Will has faced his fair share of positive and negative reviews, and as of late, the hate has been piling up. The most recent before the Oscar incident being his wife Jada and August's entanglement. As we understand, Will and Jada had broken up, and August, a person Jada had been supposedly helping and caring for with his health-related issues, had a romantic relationship. This was exposed to the world in Jada's talk show, The Red Table Talk. And after that, people could do nothing but feel sorry for Will Smith because, as we understood it, Jada seemed to be cheating, which is a statement Will Smith has continuously disagreed with. Will became the butt of many jokes and the meme culture had a field day. Many people wrote, reviewed, reacted to the situation, adding sentiments like, how could Will let that happen? If I was Will, I would have left Jada. If I was Will, I would have done this. If I was Will, I would have... And it goes on and on. What we saw at the Oscars seemed to me to be a trigger point of trauma. And some people react differently when facing or being reminded of it. Some people could feel physical symptoms. Some people could act completely out of character. And to me, it seemed as though Chris Rock was just the unfortunate recipient of a situation that may not have been caused by him. He just happened to be the trigger and channel of that trauma ending. The lesson here is, yes, what Will did isn't right, but Will is human. And the trauma he faces is a real problem, just like everybody else. But because of who Will Smith is, this trauma and what he feels is multiplied usually by 200 times. Will, in one video, talks about the price of fame and success. He talks about how he has to keep lawyers on retainer because every month someone is trying to sue him for something and take something from him. And at that level, you do become a target.
I get sued probably 15 times a year. I have lawyers on a monthly retainer just because you get sued so much when you're famous. There are absolutely painful aspects of this life because of what people start to do. In my mind, I just refuse to allow myself to concentrate on drawbacks. You have to learn how to fight and defend yourself from predators without letting your heart go dark.
The hate you receive is a lot louder, and it will be stupid to think all celebrities are oblivious to the hate they receive or they're perfectly okay with it. Imagine being attacked with insults at your school or workplace every day, hearing people say a lot of untruthful things about you and having to fake your day like everything is okay. After a while, it will break you. And some people argue and say, well, that is the price of fame. That's what he wanted, so he must be able to deal with it. Yes, there are some pros and cons with everything that you sign up for, but people don't sign up to be treated badly. At the Oscars, Will seemed to be fine. A lot of people mentioned that Will was laughing until he saw Jada's face, then reacted. But to be honest, we never know what people are thinking, regardless of how they may seem or who they're looking at. And people that argue with that have never seen sucker punches or what seems to be random violent encounters. For me, I grew up in a low-income area, and when I would walk into shops, I'd get people following me around the store and ask me the question, did you pay for that? When I'm at the checkout or after I've bought something and I'm about to walk away. Which is such a simple question that shouldn't get anyone annoyed. But one day when I went to this store and paid for something, I forgot to get batteries, which is something that was on my list to get. So as I went to the battery section, picked them up and placed them onto the counter, the previous cashier had walked away into the storeroom, and a new cashier was working at the till. And he asked me the question, "Did you pay for that?" And I exploded. I started shouting back, "Of course I paid for it. Ask him." And I was pointing towards the storeroom where I think the cashier had went. And the cashier, everyone in the store looked at me, and the cashier replied calmly, "It's okay, man, I was just asking." I felt ashamed of myself, and people that saw me in that store probably judged me as a crazy person, which I would understand, because it seems as though I would just shout when someone would ask me a very normal and innocent question. But in my world, I've been treated like a thief to even worse extents. I've had the police get called on me, and I've been searched for items that I've never stole, and I've had to wait for CCTV footage to clear me of a situation and any wrongdoing. And in those situations, I stayed calm and collected. But after a while, it slowly broke me. I remember one time I waited in line at H&M, and I saw about 4 or 5 people ahead of me, and they were, buying their clothes, and they were paying in cash. And when I went up to pay in cash, I think I was the 4th or 5th person there, I paid in cash, and the woman at the till started to check the money and took out a counterfeit pen, which you write on to check if the note is real or not. But she didn't use it on the other 4 people that were in front of me. Again, in that situation, I said nothing and walked away. But when I exploded, and the guy that I exploded at didn't deserve it, he was just the unfortunate one at the end of my trauma rage. Now, I've experienced worse. That's not the worst thing I've experienced, but that's all I would want to say on this video. In that situation where Will and I, or maybe you, we've probably gone through some things in our life that we haven't fully healed from or gone over. This thing with Jada and Will may not have been the only thing that Will is thinking about and is feeling in that moment of him hitting Chris. I don't actually think it was just because of that joke that had made Will react so uncharacteristically, so out of how we see Will and how Will even knows himself to be. And a very powerful point of Will Smith's apology, and when he accepted his Oscar win, he said,
"Love will make you do crazy things."
I think that was one time where Will genuinely, I think he did feel sorry and he did apologize for it. I think that's the only time Will had reflected on his trauma and what led him to get to that point. In this video, I just wanted to say that no one understands Will, and it's easy to point fingers, but it's harder to see everything that leads a person to act the way they act. Again, I'm not excusing it, but there's nearly always more than what we see on the surface. And unfortunately, it's people that we love, or people that we know, or people that love us and trust us that sometimes feel the brute or very powerful end of something that we're experiencing. And you see it all the time in children that come from homes or families that, for lack of better words, toxic environments. When they go into relationships, at certain points, or when a partner says a certain thing, they actually start to act out so out of their character. One that I faced with my friend was when my friend and her boyfriend were arguing, and as a joke, her boyfriend had said, "You're so much like your mom," and she exploded. And having known her for such a long time, she's the type of person that would never get mad over anything at all, and everything would be okay with her, and she would take big hits and big losses, and she would just move on from it, and it's fine. But that day she exploded like I've never seen before. This does happen. That's all I wanted to tell you guys. I didn't actually write a full script for this. I just wanted to talk about the situation and my perspectives and my thoughts on it. Yes, what Will Smith did was not right, but let's remember that he's also human, and a lot of us contributed to what or how Will Smith is today. That's what I wanted to say, guys. If you like this video, maybe you should check out some other breakdown or reaction or other videos that we do. This video is mainly a business channel where we talk about business and marketing, but we talk a lot about psychology and life and just trying to understand people in the world a lot better. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.